Dear God, we thank you for this scheduled glimpse of Cypress Village's administrative realities and challenges. We pause to acknowledge the presence of God in this discussion as well. And with what a catalog of gone wrongness we sometimes confront you, dear God. If we trust the evening news, we are watching simultaneously the play out of the George Floyd events, of the COVID pandemic, of burning trees which speak of global warming, a war going on in our allies' dooryard, and proliferating gun deaths associated with children and teens. So many negative concerns which have the power to make us forget to tune in the numerous positive notes in our lives, for we have much to be thankful for. If we listen to the news only, we lose track of the many reliable promptings which have traveled with us from our earlier lives. They make us ignore the network of help made available to each of us simply by our decision about where to live. We are at risk of giving way to nameless fears and habitual angers, which so easily and so quickly engulf us. But let us agree together not to go that road. Instead, let us hearken to the prophet's adage and do justice, love kindness, and walk humbly with you, our God. Let this august assemblage say together, Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, George. You know, I want you to know that the people that are asked to do the invocation tailor it to what's going on today. Thank you, George. I know that was a lot of work. Next is the pledge. Jim Jandro.
Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Jim. Next up is some recognition for staff.
Good morning, Cypress Village. I just have a few personnel updates that I wanted to make everybody aware of, if you weren't already. The first of which is Victory Sloan. She had serviced Cypress Village in the capacity of Assisted Living Director for 2 years, but she was with Cypress Village for 4 years. I want to thank her for her service. Yesterday was her last day, and wish her and her new addition to the family all the best. Tammy Faust is the replacement and new Assisted Living Director for Victory Sloan. She started about a week ago. Please welcome Tammy. You will be introduced to her on Coffee Chat next week. Tried getting her to do it last week, but it wasn't going to happen. Johanna Grant, we recently acquired her in the marketplace. She is a clinical leader that is going to be assuming the clinical leadership up in assisted living memory care with Tammy Faust. We're excited to have her and very fortunate. And this one's really tough, and I think there was a little miscommunication. That's Victoria Bohach, which all of you know. She's been with us, I think it's 16 years, is that right? 16 years. And she has been in almost every single department here at Cypress Village except the care centers. So she might even have been there periodically before my arrival here. But she is not leaving us indefinitely. She is staying on part-time. So I think that was a little bit of the confusion. She got an opportunity of a lifetime. She's always wanted to be in the financial aspect of industry. So Bank of America had made her a great offer that she couldn't refuse, so she is going to take that and run with it. So congratulations to Victoria. As tough as that is going to be, we're going to miss her smile, seeing it every day. I mean, it's invaluable. So congratulations to Victoria. But again, you'll see her here a few days a week. Oh, is she here? Where is Victoria? Oh, there she is. So Victoria, come on up here. I'm sorry. This is a token of our appreciation. It's signed by many of your colleagues and co-associates. I don't know who else signed it, but we hope that you place that on the wall in Bank of America somewhere. But congratulations and thank you for all your years. I do have one more update, and then we'll get into the awards. The last update has been Benjamin Gaudio, our Director of Dining Services. We had that position that he was in the executive chef role that were open. We officially made the announcement in Coffee Chat last week, but Ben is going to assume the executive chef position permanently and indefinitely until further notice. But when you see Ben, please congratulate him. That's where his true passion is. So let's work with him in that capacity. And we are currently in the process of interviewing Director of Dining Services. I had 5 interviews, 4 interviews last week and 1 yesterday. So there are some folks out there, but that is a tough role to fill. So be patient with us. And back to recognition, we've got our Employee of the Month, and he has been the employee. Is he around? Michael, come on up here, buddy. Michael.
In here. We have some comments here just for Mike, and we'll go ahead and get him presented with his award. So, as many of you are aware, Mike is our primary maintenance tech for the towers here. He's been with us for over 5 years. He receives a plentiful amount of comment cards from the residents here, and those comments really do mean a lot to him. He does take the time to read those. Back in the day, he used to have a certificate wall in maintenance with all of these certificates that he received from all of you. So definitely keep those coming. So we have a plaque here for him as Employee of the Month. So this is for you. And we'll see you when you're eligible again.
Candace, do you want to say a few words?
I just want to say thank you to everybody. I really appreciate it. I don't really do it for the recognition, but I'm so happy that you recognize that I at least tried to do a good job. But I love working for all y'all very much. So it's kind of easy. Wow. So when I say it's my pleasure, I kind of mean it. I mean it's well done, Mike.
A couple more associates that we're going to go ahead and recognize. A newer initiative that the Culture Committee here at Cypress Village started this year is Rookie of the Month. So we do have associates here still within their 90 days who do an excellent job that we want to go ahead and recognize. So each month we do have one of those. So our Rookie of the Month for July of this year is Ivan Cruz.
Ivan Cruz.
Quote here from Sarah Ninya on her thoughts on Ivan. She says, Ivan has proven himself to be a valuable short-term asset, but we look forward to having him to prove himself as an even more valuable long-term asset. Woo! So we do appreciate you and everything that you do. Any words?
No, just like Mike said, I enjoy coming to work and helping out you guys as much as I can in whatever aspect I can. So I look forward to being here in the long term and doing the best I can for everybody. That's it.
Okay. Lastly, we also implemented this year a Leader of the Quarter initiative. So we have compiled the information for quarter 2, and we have a winner. Unfortunately, she is not here today, so we will go ahead and present her with her certificate at the next community award. But the winner for quarter 2 is our HR director, Angelique Anthony. Woo! So as you can imagine, Angie is pulled in many different directions here at Cypress Village. She is one of our go-to directors for a compassionate conversation. She definitely leads with her heart on her sleeve, and we are very grateful to have her here. And I'll see if Ty has any words for Angie.
I'll hold until next week when she's here. I'm going to pass it off to Gina and Alan this time.
Thanks, Candace. Thanks, Ty. Before I start my remarks, I want to say something before Mike leaves. So, Mike used to do the houses too, and I live in a house. And so I had a fan that didn't work, and I wasn't home, and Mike left a note, and then he stopped by my house a few days later to make sure I got the note and I understood what he said. And so, Dave, I haven't forgiven you yet for moving Mike to the towers. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Dave. I'd like to welcome everyone again. Ruiz Fontecchio, I hope I pronounced your name correctly, and Mark Waters will not be here today. They both have commitments. I want to remind everybody there's not a community meeting in August. We're taking a month off. I want to point out that Linda Daltrey, whose last name I always mispronounce, is the chair of the nominating committee. She agreed to do it again this year, and we are very, very appreciative. She is in the process of selecting candidates to be on the nominating committee. In fact, I think she's pretty much done with that. The chair, Linda, is identifying residents to serve on the that are willing to serve on the council. And also some of the committee members will be leaving due to the term limits. So if any of you have interest in serving on the council or the committees, please let Linda know, or let one of the members of the council know, or of course me, and we'll appreciate your input. And so back to the agenda. Next is the treasurer's report. Wendy, do you want to come up and talk about that a minute?
On the treasurer's report, we have $1,350.53. As you can see, most of that is from Coffee Chat. And surprisingly, just as looking forward, in July, we've increased the donation that we received during Coffee Chat and on the first week of July to about $37. And I think that's because Mr. Ty Morgan showed up and took all our comments. So, but don't forget to come down to Coffee Chat. It's a wonderful time. We get to interact again. And even though I'm not a morning person, I've always enjoyed coming here. It's hard for me. 10 o'clock is hard for me. I just want to move on to the healthcare committee. And let me tell you a little bit about, first of all, the guidelines for falling. And then I want to talk to you about a recent project we just started. On the guidelines for falling, not for how to fall. But if you see someone fall, what do? You don't panic. You now know what to do. In other words, don't hurt yourself, don't hurt the resident who has fallen. Get help, whether it be security or calling 911. But the key is not to incur any further injury. If you want a copy of those guidelines, they were in the log, but I have a copy as well as any member of the Healthcare Committee. Now, the next is a project that the Healthcare Committee came up with to show appreciation for Station 59. They are here, sometimes it seems daily, doesn't it? Oh my goodness, or more than once. So we are so thankful for them and their support that the committee decided to bake cookies. And we're gonna bake cookies, each member is, and accumulate the trays and take them over to Station 59 just to say thank you from the residents of Cypress Village. Now, along with those cookie trays, we're hopeful to have a poster in the lobby that anyone who wants to express appreciation can sign and say thank you. Now, the Happy Bakers Healthcare Committee members, the WISE Committee members, let me just give you their names. Marilyn Janitis, Lauren Fisher, Carmen Von Sutson, Nancy Rochester, Chris Burkholz. Tom Johnston is not a happy baker, but he's a very good manager of logistics. And myself and Peggy Wilczek. So, thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. It's a big commitment for a non-morning person agreeing to be treasurer, because I have to go to coffee chat every week. Next up is Pam. Pam's going to give us an update on the Facilities Committee.
Thank you, Janet. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee Chat. Oh, that's right. Dave just left, so I thought I was going to point to him, so I guess he decided he'd leave. But anyway, I'm going to address the first topic is that A-Tower parking lot, because it's probably on some of your minds. We've hired a, we hired a new animal control company who specializes in animals in the wild versus just squirrels or raccoons in your attic, okay? So he's gotten some traps out. He also deposited a natural repellent to wild animals. Now, we just had that big rainfall, so I don't know how effective it'll be going forward, but we'll address that. The other thing we've gotten and found on the internet is a sound system that can be geared to particular wild animal pests. That was supposed to be delivered yesterday. I didn't get an update if it did, but once it comes in, it'll probably take a couple of days to get it installed, but that should be in sometime this week. Please report incidences because to the appropriate people, otherwise we won't know if it's effective or not. But right now, between the wild, the pest control person, and the sound system, we feel we have some possible solutions to the problem. All right, so that's that big update. The other one, of course, we have an irrigation well on Middleton Park, Central East, and the pump is bad, so we were just going to replace the pump. Well, we can't get the pump out without a crane. The pump seems to be embedded in there, whether it's been there too long or what. I believe it's affecting the odd number of houses along that side, not the whole street. So that crane has been ordered, and once we can pull the pump, then we will install a new pump. The PM on the houses project has been progressing nicely. Ray from maintenance is the only person doing it, but he's doing a very thorough job. Everybody's been very pleased with what he's done. It takes a good 4.5 hours. He's about to start the homes on Silkvine, and then from there go to Goldcrest, Croton, and then proceed down. So if you are called for an appointment, please select a time that is, you can really be sure you'll be there, because it wastes time if you're not there and he hasn't made another appointment. So we appreciate your cooperation for that. The green roof plans, the construction should begin in about a month, but we don't have a design plan, meaning what they're going to put up there, like the plans, the layout, and things like that. So there's nothing really to see. It's right now construction, which has been approved and should start sometime this month. The lantern installations at the houses is also progressing. We haven't installed any these last couple of weekends because of holidays, but hopefully we will start weekend installation on those coming up this month. The fountains, the Cypress Lake one, we're waiting for parts. Silverberry needs a float, not a pump, so that float is being ordered. The kiosks, there are only 3 of them are left now, I believe, waiting for roofs, the tin copper-looking roofs, and only one has been landscaped. But it's been approved, and Dave assures me it's on Larry's list, so we should see that when things slow down with the pruning and the grass cutting. Staffing, they're fully staffed, according to Dave, and we're very grateful for that. He told me the C elevators repair, still 2 to 3 weeks out waiting for parts. So that's my brief update. Concrete is still progressing. We've completed around the A-Tower sidewalks finally, and the pad outside the A-Tower door, which will now house nice, good-sized trash bin for the residents who have the apartments on that first floor of the A-Tower, because they have no place to put their trash, no chute or anything. So with that, I just encourage you to use the Cypress app if you have a problem. If it's on the weekends and it's serious, better to call concierge or security. So, thank you for your yes, sir.
You addressed the animal problem earlier. Where's the problem with the animals?
The problem is that they get into the cars that are parked and not active in the A-Tower and do damage to the wires and installations in the engine area, and it's quite costly.
Raccoons mostly, you think?
Yes, and other rodents, but
thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wondered if anybody did report.
Thank you, Pam. Next up is Lester. Let's see if I can murder his name. I have to Linda's. Linda Ruiz.
Lester.
I am a workshop.
I'll take it. Linda's beautiful in Spanish, so it's going to be beautiful. I love it. Good morning, everyone. I'm Lester Ruiz, the Director of Housekeeping, Environmental Services. I am happy to be here. These past few weeks have been amazing. I am learning so much. I am, more importantly, getting to know my staff, my supervisors, and everybody's doing a wonderful job. I want to start off by giving you a couple of updates. I know there's been a couple of rumors going around that Lester wants to shut down housekeeping internally and all that. Shutting it down, we're closing the doors, no more housekeeping. What I want to do is go back to weekly services. I know that that's something that's been put in the back burner for a while, and I want to give that back to our residents, because I feel like that's something very, very important for you all to make sure you get your services weekly. I know there is some that like it bi-weekly, and that's okay too. We're here to make sure that you're getting what you want. I was talking to my team about gathering everyone together for 1 week to deep clean the common areas. And when I say deep clean, I mean go from the 7th floor all the way to the 1st floor, and that week utilize to train, coach. Not saying that my team needs a bunch of training and all that good stuff, but when we have somebody new as a leader, changes do come for the better. And I want to make sure that every employee in my department has the tools they need and they know how to use every tool that they have. I want to take that week to walk with them throughout the building and start on the 7th floor, shampooing carpets, hidden baseboards, dusting the beautiful pictures on the walls. There's a lot of areas that I've seen in the past few weeks that I've been here that naturally are overseen because we're focusing on a lot of services that we are providing. But I think it's time for us to step back for a second and take a double look at things and make sure that every area in this building is being touched, cleaned, and most importantly nowadays with COVID sanitized. We're going to spend that entire week dusting the building, shampooing carpets, treating spots on the carpets, hitting the vinyl floors and making sure they're nice and shiny. And most importantly, like I said, we're going to go through a deep disinfecting the building, common areas, doorknobs, railings, things like that. I can also...
Can you pick your week?
We're working on the details, most likely to be next week, but I want to make sure that I have everything I need so that week is productive. And I have a schedule that's not 100%, but we want to at least do 1 floor a day. And on Monday, on the first day of the week on that Monday, we're going to try to do the 7th and the 6th floor together because they seem, from what I hear, the areas are smaller. And then that way we're going to work our way down, all the way down to the 1st floor. And this week you're going to see the housekeeping department working together like never before. I want to bring the department together and work alongside with one another. And in that week I will also see where we're at, what we're doing, what we're missing, so that the following week we could go back to weekly services. After this week that we do the entire deep cleaning of the building, I truly believe that my team is going to learn and see so much through that week. They're all doing great. They're all doing a fine job. I think it's just time to, like I said, step back, take a double look at things, and go back at it again, the full force, and give you all the services that you all deserve. One thing that was brought to my attention was also the holidays. I know when the holiday falls on a Monday or a Friday, a lot of residents who are scheduled those days get missed or skipped or whatever the case may be, but I don't want that to no longer happen. Last 4th of July, we asked for volunteers to make sure that we could provide that service, and we were able to make it happen. I never want to make any promises I can't keep, but moving forward, I want to do the best we can to make sure that every holiday, everybody still gets their service. I don't want that to happen again. If I have to get more people in here, we will get all the people we need to make sure that nobody gets skipped on any holiday. Like I said, I don't make any promises because we're going to try to do the best we can to provide all that for you. Let's see what.
Staffed now? Are you fully
I am not 100% fully charged with staff, but we are working on it. I brought in a third-party company, staffing company that I've used for years, and they provide employees on a daily basis or whatever we need. So right now we're able to get a couple of servers and a cook for the dining room. So not just my department, but I'm also trying to help out any area that we can. This company does a tremendous background check and all that, so the quality of employees that we'll be getting in the building will be up to our standard as well. And they can do many things throughout the building. So that's something we're working on to make sure that we're staffed up to make sure, again, we can provide that services. I don't like to make any promises, like I said, I can't keep. So if we want to go back to the weekly services, I got to make sure I have the tools and the bodies, the personnel to be able to do that for you all. And I'm going to try to do everything I can to get that going as soon as possible, okay? Now I can take all day here talking to you all, and Katie's already giving me the finger back there. Let's go, come on. But I'm gonna leave it there. Everybody Anthony Bone had a cell phone number. I have that number now. You're able to reach me there for any questions, text messages, voicemails, phone calls. My office. Everybody's welcome to stop by whenever to come chat with me, come visit me. And
D258.
D258 is my office number. Thank you for that. Somebody asked me this morning, and I was like, oh yeah, I do have a apartment number, don't I? So yes, D258. My door is always open. If I'm not there, one of the girls in my department know where to find me.
Did you change the recording?
Yes, I did. I did it on my cell phone. I'm working on the one in the office phone today. I did get his voice out already, but I'm going to put mine in there. The cell phone is done already.
Same phone number.
Same phone number, yes ma'am. Same number, it's just Lester, not Anthony. Good hair, no hair. Well, thank you all for your time. I don't want to take any more time. Any questions? Thank you so much. Any questions, like I said, write it down, and I'll be happy to answer all the questions you have. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, Lester.
Louise.
Yeah, Louise.
Next up is Ty Morgan, our Executive Director.
It's a hard act to follow.
Community updates.
Thank you, Jan. And just a fun fact, I was calling Lester his first entire week, Luis Rester. So he calls me TJ now. I don't know what TJ means, but gotta have a little fun around the edge, right? So with that, I just want to recap a couple things, one of which is staffing. Last month here at community meeting, we laid out some of the staffing challenges that we're facing currently in multiple areas. I can say that the team's been diligently recruiting, hiring, and onboarding new team members, slowly but steadily. And we are seeing some results. We had 25 new hires in the month of June. I don't have the number of losses in June, but I do know it was a net positive. Obviously, as referenced in the unfiltered session we had last week, the two main service areas of focus for Cypress Village are housekeeping and dining services, which are two important services residents look forward to, obviously. We just heard an update from our Environmental Services Director, Luis Rester, and Lester Ruiz, that is a tough one. I'm bringing this department to fully operational status and giving our building a deep clean, which it has not had in a couple of years at least. I feel very confident in the trajectory for service in this area moving forward. Lester, along with his supervisors and management team, are poised to make progress as we look forward to regular service, I would say in late July. I'm not going to be as committal as Lester, but I think all the pieces are there. There's a couple hires that are outstanding. This new contracted third party that we are working with, a little different than the one we were working with prior. They actually do a level 2, and then we couple that with a level 2 FBI check. So I feel comfortable by doing that. If we have to utilize them for bringing us back to full service, I don't think we can wait much longer. So we did take those necessary steps to provide that layer of security and safety to our residents. I would like to say nice work to Lester thus far. He's made a very positive impact in the first few weeks he's been here. Thank you, Lester. Also to Lily, who you have seen probably quite a bit, putting in hours of overtime. She's done a fabulous job, along with Natalie Gibbs, who is truly a gem. I mean, she's got a heart bigger than her body. Kudos to Natalie. I'm a huge fan of Natalie's as well, and she handles independent living for us. So on to dining services. So I'm going to start with the reopening of 4600. I would say thus far, based on the commentary we've had, overall it's been a success given the current circumstances. We are continuing to work through system flaws, primarily the point of service system and the reservation system. Other areas of focus are service efficiencies, seating opportunities, and additional training. With that being said, we are still on track to continue reopening 4600 East with additional days and seating times becoming available in the coming weeks. So more to come on that. My team and I are currently assessing several opportunities in the dining services department that will allow us to create some efficiencies and streamline service until we can become fully staffed. It is no doubt that there have been service failures, and we are working internally to identify, strategic changes that can be made successfully, but also improve dining services overall community-wide. Once final, these changes or strategic plans will be presented to the resident council and dining committee for any input that they may have from the resident perspective that we may have missed that's necessary or requires revision. Unfortunately, I can't give those details yet because we're in the midst of drafting them, but we are working on a final plan and proposal to present by the end of the week. Any updates on our dining plans that are completed, if so, by the end of the week, will be in the newsletter, which are going to go out, as well as coffee chat on Friday. I want to thank the help of the resident feedback given to us directly and through the most recent Village Unfiltered session. We have identified a couple concepts to some of the challenges that we do have and you are facing as it pertains to the food service area. We hope to initiate some of these plans as early as next week and ask that you continue to be patient throughout the process. I'm going to dovetail into the Village Unfiltered a little bit because that was primarily dining services related. So based on emails, conversations, and other communications and correspondence, I feel overall the session was engaging and impactful and overall achieved the mission of what the intention was. Some immediate actions taken from the dialogue that we had was, number one, safety in the fitness center for house residents where their pennant does not work. We installed multiple pennants for house residents to use or residents that are in the towers that don't have their pennant on that want to have additional safety when working out. Number two, the lab that we have here, Health Link, we have initiated a final notice to the existing lab for them to remedy the service failures that you all have experienced and we've experienced. We've also confirmed a new meeting with a lab provider, which is in the works, and that would be LabCorp. Still working through those details. Three, dining services. It was loud and clear to me and others that residents feel we are stretched with opening 4600 East at the current time. I think that was an obvious area that residents had voiced. I agree, but I also felt it was necessary to move forward. We can't continue to make excuses to not move the train forward. Recommendations that were expressed were modifying what we are currently doing, and that is really, stage one or phase one of what we're working on now. We're not going to overhaul dining services in a week, I can assure you. That would be an unrealistic task, and we would set ourselves up for failure. But the modification plan, I think that we have at least a framework of is going to be a good one. We are in the early stages, but accelerated stages of the modification plan because the modification plan is not just dining services related. It's related to, a little bit of what happened yesterday. I don't know if any of you came to Bar Bingo yesterday, but we had a huge, I actually had a card I was going to play, and I actually couldn't get down there. I had 2 interviews scheduled, so I wasn't able to break loose. However, those are the types of things that we used to do at Cypress Village a couple years back and had a great time. We were a very vibrant, engaging community, residents having a good time. So the goal for the initial modification plan will be larger events, more resident engagement, food will be available, but it'll probably be scaled back, but convenient. An example will be, like residents also recommended in the unfiltered session, grab and goes, happy hour style food and offerings, and just very convenient items. Our goal will be to create the Loon's Nest again as the social hub of our community. Drinks available, food options, but entertainment. We're going to have a lot of fun again. Lisa, Drew, Katie, myself, and others are working on some preliminary plans that we're going to present. But the goal is not just food service, it's making us community, making us to have a good time and get together and socialize amongst each other. We have no set date on the food option aspect. However, the social piece we want to move forward on in July. So that we are hoping to roll out after we present it to the council and dining committee by hopefully next week. An example, just to give you one quick example that I think just sounds really, really nice would be if we did like a movie night in the Loon's Nest in Egret Hall, where we could play the movie on multiple TVs, big screen, offer food, drinks, hopefully get a good group of residents together to really enjoy, you know, the movie at hand, but more so the socialization. Also additional musicians, entertainers, whatever it may be. Let's just get everybody back together, open up these doors that have been shut for so long and make it happen again. As announced, this will be a monthly event. I'm sorry, I got a typo there. That's on Unfiltered. So on Unfiltered, we are not going to do it weekly. I know that's really disappointing to everybody. We just really can't put it together. And ultimately, we don't want it to be, you know, necessarily a follow-up. We want to hear some things from residents. I got some great input from residents on the structure of it. And I think what we're going to do is take like the 2 or 3 top referenced concern areas within Cypress Village and focus on those and address them as such versus just opening it wide open. But then it'll help us with more articulation of, you know, the concerns at hand. So we'll see how that flows. That's going to be August 5th, Katie, is that right? Okay. Janet said there's no community meeting next month. That's just a reminder. So in closing, I just want to say until we can attain optimal staffing in food and beverage departments, we want to at least bring the fun back to Cypress Village. And again, that's really all I have today. Let's get it done and make it happen, and we'll go from there. But I thank you all for your time, support, and patience as always. Thank you all.
I could see everybody was really interested in all that dining information you gave. That's it for today's meeting. Our next meeting will be September 13th at 10 o'clock right here. Thank you very much for coming.